What's going on, Packers fans? Aaron Nagler here with your Packers Daily Chat, coming to you live from Green Bay, Wisconsin, across the street from Lambeau Field here at Shea Banky, a.k.a. Cheesehead TV headquarters in Titletown. Hope you're all doing well. Good to see everybody in the comments section. Shareholders meeting was earlier today. Mark Murphy spoke both at the meeting and with media afterwards. And, of course, there was a bit of news there coming out of the wake of the meeting with the confirmation from Rob Demovsky of ESPN that all three of Murphy's football lieutenants, Brian Gutekunst, Matt LaFleur, and Russ Ball, have all been given contract extensions. Nothing has been announced. Nothing probably will be by the Packers. Weird dance by Murphy there when asked about it, given that he was literally at a function that serves as a bridge to the public, which owns the team after a fashion, but so secretive about whether the people charged with the success of the football team have been given contract extensions. And he knows that's going to come out sooner rather than later. It's just weird to me. But those men now are tied to the football operations for the foreseeable future. No word yet on the exact details or years on the contract, but on the contracts. But we'll see how this transpires over the course of these next few years, both obviously trying to win a Super Bowl in Aaron Rodgers' final time with the team, and then the transition out of Aaron Rodgers into whatever is next. Good to see everybody. Thanks so much for hanging out. Let's give a shout out to our friends, shall we? Our friends over at Ticket King. That's right, Ticket King. You want to check Ticket King out. They've been in Wisconsin since 1992, people. They are staffed with experienced, friendly, and knowledgeable folks that can help you with anything Packers ticket related. They also partner with local Green Bay businesses for tailgates and bus transportation to the games. They are open on game day for last-minute tickets, upgrades, and they even have a drive-through window. Make sure you check out Ticket King. You can also find links to tickets for any single game in the Cheesehead TV app. If you just go to the schedule part of the app, you'll find a link to Ticket King for the particular game that you're looking at. With the season upon us, too, folks, make sure you get your Green Bay Packers yearbook, the official 2022 yearbook of the Green Bay Packers, available at packersyearbook.com. You want to use promo code CHTV. That's promo code CHTV to get 10% off your order. Do it, people. You know you want to. It's a great tradition. I love it. I know you do, too. You're diehards. That's why you're here. That's why you check out Cheesehead TV, because we're devoted to Green Bay Packers fans worldwide, like all the fine folks in the comment section. Good to see everybody. Big B is here. What's up, Big B? It was good to see you today, buddy. Saw you in the stands. Thanks for saying hello. Great to have you in town, man. I will definitely be seeing you on Wednesday, I would imagine. The first practice. Let's go. Let's go. Callum, if Kevin King is a free agent, do you think he will stay or go? I think he'll go, meaning I don't think the Packers are going to sign him. He doesn't really have to stay or go. He's a free agent. He can go anywhere he wants, but he ain't coming back to Green Bay, would be my guess, unless there are a lot of injuries, which you never know. Brandon, any thoughts on Murphy replacement in a few? Goot a possibility? Not anytime soon for Gutekunst. I don't think he has any interest in that job, but I would believe Ed Policy would probably be the man who would be next in line. He's been with the organization for a long time now. His family is pretty much royalty in the NFL. And he's been kind of in that, I guess you'd say, the pipeline, so to speak. Packers have definitely been operating with the idea pointing towards Ed Policy taking over when Murphy retires. Now, that's 3 years from now, and that's a very long time, and anything can happen. But Policy has been given more and more responsibility on the business side, obviously, as Murphy has kind of taken on more responsibility on the football side with his division of the powers that made this three-headed kind of power structure work for the Packers on football. And Policy, he's no joke, man. He ran the Arena League for 2-3 years. He's definitely knows every nook and cranny of the Packers business operations at this point, has been instrumental in the expansion of Titletown. If there is an obvious successor, he is it. So we will see again as the years go on. Brandy, any players come in with me? Nope, nobody on my flights. Didn't see anybody. Thought there might be somebody there when I was coming into Appleton, but it was just someone headed to EAA. He was not a Packers player. Mm-hmm. Banky for Prez. Now, I think we're a little ways away from that, but I tell you what, we're not too far away from Banky being a bit of a possibility for the Packers board. Give it 5 years. I think he's on track for that. We'll see. Looks like a beautiful day in Green Bay. It is absolutely gorgeous, especially after the nonsense that was New York this past week. New York has been absolutely disgusting for like the last 5 days, and it was a real treat to get here and wake up this morning, and there was even a breeze in the air. Although right now I'm freaking roasting. The sun is absolutely destroying at the moment. Nags, tell me an Aaron Brooks story. I have no Aaron Brooks stories other than he was better than most people remember. Don't ever forget when he was the starter down in New Orleans with Mike McCarthy as his offensive coordinator. He was a top 5 quarterback. True story. Look it up. It's pretty amazing. Soccer game attracted the family night thunderstorms. Clear weather guaranteed this year. Hey, let's not like jinx anything. Knocking on wood here, but yes, hopefully that is the one thunderstorm we have to deal with. The one lightning storm, because that's the obvious problem when that happens. But yes, hopefully. Banky in the garden. That's right. Banky is in the garden, ladies and gentlemen. Doing a little gardening right over my shoulder. The garden is being tended to, people, just like we tend to Packers fans around the world. Corey tends to his garden. How's that for a transition? You like that? A little gardening action. It's all good. Hello to everybody checking in on Twitch. Always good to see the Twitch folks. Thank you for checking out the channel. I promise when I get back to New York, there will be more video game content. I'm just been busy, but it will happen. I promise. Once I get into a groove in the season, it will be happening. Honest thoughts on David Bakhtiari coming back in week 1. Week 1. Whoo, baby. I want to hear what Dave has to say. And I want to hear what Matt has to say whenever we get to first talk to him, before I form any kind of opinion on David possibly being ready for week 1. We all know he's on PUP. I'm sure you guys have checked out the video that I made for the channel. It doesn't feel good. There's no doubt about that, but it's still not time to completely write it off / panic. We will see how conservative they're being versus how much David is still dealing with the fluid issue or whatever else he may be bothered by going forward. When I was at Lambeau, I saw the Cheesehead TV house. I freaked out and said, that's where Nag Doctor streams. Yeah, here's where I stream. Salud. Rodgers presenting Jennings into the Packers Hall of Fame. You know what's fun is that I was going to ask Aaron that when it was announced back in, like, I think it was last October or whenever it was. But that particular week was one of the few weeks that Sarah did not call on me to ask Aaron a question. And then after that, like a week later, it just didn't feel like timely or appropriate to go back a week and say, oh, you remember how they announced Greg Jennings going to the Packers Hall of Fame? Because I was going to make a bit of a joke about it, right? Because obviously, no, Aaron won't be. But yeah, then the time was not right. I had other stuff to ask him. So, but I did want to kind of needle him a little bit about it. So I don't know. Maybe I'll do it at his locker. Now that Mark has reintroduced the idea, the shareholders meeting today about Jennings going into the Packers Hall of Fame, maybe I'll get the opportunity to ask Aaron about it. Is the Packers D primed to be a top 5 defense in the NFL? Primed, yeah. But being primed in late July doesn't mean a whole lot unless you do the work. They've got the talent. It's there on paper. There's zero question. Now, obviously, it's about the guys doing the work and being able to kind of continue to develop and understand whatever wrinkles Joe Barry wants to put in the scheme, year 2, continuing to grow within that scheme, etc. And then obviously another part of it is injuries. You can't control them. They're a way of life in the NFL. You never know where they're going to strike or how long or how severe. And clearly the Packers were able to make do and thrive without Jair Alexander and Za'Darius Smith last year. Who knows? Hopefully, knocking again on wood, that they don't have anything that significant to deal with throughout the course of the year, but you're going to be dealing with injuries. And I don't have to tell you guys, anybody who sat through my positional previews will tell you and knows that there are definitely some spots where there is suspect depth. And that's not a knock on Brian. That's just the way of life in the NFL, especially when you have a team that you have continuously kind of reformed with the nucleus intact. That nucleus has gotten paid. So there are a lot of premier players, frontline players with Green Bay who were being paid over $10 million a year. That affects your salary cap. And that does tend to lead to, you're going to have some thin spots across your depth chart. So, we'll see how the Packers weather that storm. I don't have to tell you diehards that they won a Super Bowl with 15 people on IR. And that was back in the day when you couldn't bring anybody back. So it can be done. We'll see how they navigate those waters. But yes, sitting here, late July, on paper, absolutely primed to be a top 5 defense. No question. Tyler, what's up, man? Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate it. No love for Stillmank or Badger State in your vid? You know what? I got nothing but love for both of those places. I just didn't go there that day, and I definitely don't really have the time to make them part of my routine, like the places I go to a lot. Again, I obviously got love for Stillmank. We used to do Packer Transplants was sponsored by Stillmank a couple years ago. Wisco Disco. It's a fine beverage. I love it to death. But again, it's not near the stadium. It's not one of the spots I really hit regularly. Doesn't mean I don't love them. They're all good in my book. Down and leave it. Safety 3, thank you for special teams. Well, I mean, we'll see about how much he plays from scrimmage. Maybe he's in the mix. I know he did get to start and was involved on the defensive side of the ball from scrimmage last season for the Raiders, but we'll see how much he's able to get on the field. It'll be interesting to watch him here these first kind of days of camp as he's trying to catch up install-wise. Guys who've been in the program all offseason obviously will have a little bit of a step ahead, but clearly he is being brought in to help bolster special teams, led the Raiders in special teams tackles last season. Got to think Bisaccia has signed off on this, if not advocated for it. So, but we'll see. We'll see what he gives them from scrimmage. But this is definitely, I would think, most likely a specific, significant move to bolster their teams. I can't wait to see what plays Matt comes up with to get our wide receivers open. I mean, yeah, we've seen a number of them, right? And I think there are lots of concepts they can utilize that maybe they've even not utilized quite as much as they did or have or could have this last year, 2 years, what have you, because they were so Devontae eccentric, specific. But I think the playbook's there. We've seen plenty of, examples, so to speak, and concepts and formations that can help get guys open, whether it's the condensed stuff that Matt likes, the motion, the pre-snap motion. Maybe they lean into that a little bit more. We'll see. I'm with you, man. It's exciting. But remember what Matt always talks about, the illusion of complexity. Lots of stuff that looks different that is the same. Some player tryouts today. Anything interesting? Just the safety we were just talking about, who got signed. Outside of that, I didn't see any names that jumped out at me. Copper State loaded beer cheese fries are the acme of comfort food. I like that. That's good. Get Josh Neiman ready for the playoff games. I mean, if he has another year of starting under his belt, I would suspect, yes, that would be the plan. Yeah, I don't think they'd sit him this time. Players, not plays. Yes, Jim, it is somewhat predicated on Jimmy's and Joe's, not X's and O's. But that's that was an old adage, an old coaching adage about putting your players in their best position. They still obviously have to execute. They undoubtedly, yes, you want to focus on, let's get the ball in Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon's hands because they are probably your two best skill position players. Who knows what they're going to get out of Sammy Watkins? Obviously, Alan Lazard has a long history of success in this offense. So you're going to get him involved. Those are the people that you're going to be drawing stuff up for. There's no doubt about it. But you still need to draw stuff up. You still don't have a Devontae Adams where you 80% of the time can just name him number one in the progression and have Aaron just lock in. That's not happening this year. First time seeing you live. Are you at Corey's? I am, Mindy. I am at Corey's. And thanks for joining live. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Brandy, say hello to your folks for us. I will. I'll see them tonight. I'll tell them you all say hello. Dad was at an art fair this weekend. Very successful. I love the Mark Murphy quote about noon kickoffs. Joe, that was great. I do wonder how calculated that was. I mean, I know he played it like it was off the cuff. And for those of you who maybe missed it, he said, here's the because he had said he had heard from fans who he knows that fans complain about the lack of noon home games here at Lambeau. And he said, the reality is if you have a bunch of noon home games, that means you're a shitty team. and everyone tithered and he but I suspect he knows what he's doing. I think he's just getting a little red meat for the base. But in a good way. I think it's great. I saw somebody on Twitter was like, I can't believe I ever didn't like this guy. He's great. That's the kind of stuff that, you know, ingrains you into the consciousness of the fan base in a way that maybe trying to bribe the former MVP doesn't. Watch out for deer. Always on the watch out for deer. Always. Glad Dylan took the high road after that incident the other night. Oh, Nathan. Yes. I was talking actually to a different Packers player about that. And we were saying if that had been somebody else, a few other guys on the team, probably doesn't end as well. Probably certainly isn't handled as magnanimously as it was by AJ. I did ask Mark Murphy today if the organization has spoken with the police department about the incident, and Murphy did say that it was unfortunate and that he thought that the Green Bay Police Department was going to open an investigation. And I saw that the AP reported that they got a statement from the police department saying their internal affairs unit is looking at it. So, and look, I know there are people out there. I'm going to preempt this already. I know there are going to be people out there like, oh, nobody got hurt. Who gives a shit? Move on. And look, for the most part, I'm just kind of tying a bow on this, right? Like, I don't care what happens to that officer. I truly don't. But the question had to be asked, and the Packers should be able to reach out to the department and say, what is your guy doing? I don't think that's out of bounds. I don't think that's being anti-cop. I just think it's common sense. AJ was there at the invitation of security. So somebody got a little overzealous. And I don't think it's a crazy idea for the Packers to say, guys, what the hell is going on here? That's all. Tell your folks I says hi and I love your dad's paintings. Oh, thank you, Matt. Thank you very much. Yeah, my dad has been a painter since he retired from teaching. It's kind of crazy. He's always kind of dabbled, but when he retired, he kind of went into it full time. And now he, shows at art fairs all throughout the summer. He has an agent. He shows in galleries. It's crazy. And he's totally self-taught. That's the nutty part. Like, guy just was like, oh, I just like painting and just did it. It's crazy. What else we got? What about 69? Should we let him go? No, Jennifer. No, they should not let him go. They should utilize whatever they need to try and mitigate whatever he's dealing with his knee. And as I said earlier in the stream, I don't want to talk too much about it until we hear from Dave and Matt on this, because placing him on PUP is one thing, but getting any kind of information about it from the team and from the player himself, I think is only fair before we start kind of pontificating and guessing at it. Since we've been signing a lot of Raiders special teamers, can we expect Will Compton signing? I mean, people have been asking for it all offseason, but so far nothing has materialized. I know he is like personally kind of been campaigning publicly, but I don't know. I can't say one way or the other. Obviously, I think it'd be fun, but I have no idea how Brian and the company will feel about it. How long am I in town? I'm in Green Bay and Appleton until August 11th. I'm flying back the morning of my girlfriend's birthday. And that was the deal. I said I'd be back, take her out to dinner. So there you go. Any word on PUP Christian Watson? Benjamin, the only thing I've seen is Ross reporting that it's nothing significant, mostly precautionary, and it shouldn't be anything long-term. Now, we'll see. That you never know who sources are, but that could very well have been put out by an agent or the player, even the player himself, to try and like temper down like negative ideas or narratives, what have you. But the team is always going to be cautious, always going to be extremely conservative, and they may keep him out for a while. Who knows? But we'll start to get some of these answers once we hear from Matt. Hopefully, I guess maybe Tuesday, maybe Wednesday. I would think we're going to get Gutekunst to here at some point as well, too. All right, everybody, I'm going to have to get going. I can't thank you enough for hanging out, talking Packers each and every day, Monday through Friday, right here on the Cheesehead TV social channels. Please do me a huge favor. Hit like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and then tell your friends and tell your family. Cheesehead TV. We're devoted to Green Bay Packers fans worldwide. I'll be here in Green Bay all week. Only one Packers Daily tomorrow, Tuesday afternoon, and then starting Wednesday, I will be doing 2 chats every day. One in the morning, and then one sometime in the afternoon after practice. So just be sure you're subscribed so you know when I'm going live and you can join us and hang out and drink a beer and talk football. It's always a lot of fun. All right, everybody, have a great day. Talk to you all tomorrow. Go Pack Go.